Hey, let me check in with part 3, Voyage to Laputa, chapter 5, where Gulliver is down on the ground now, and he visits the kind of the academy there and goes through a whole bunch of different rooms where various scientists have their projects. And in the notes, this says that that Swift seems to have actually based a lot of his satiric takes here on the Royal Academy, the University of Leiden in the Dutch, and the Dublin Philosophical Society, where apparently and his what is this? The notes talk about basically he's targeting Newtonian Whig ideas. Anything that's Newtonian Whig or is Dutch, he really comes in for the sledgehammer here. And it sounds like at this is the beginning of science, and there's a lot of wacky things. I think probably the one that I knew of already going into this was a scientist trying to someone trying to extract sunshine from cucumbers and bottle it up so that it could be placed in the Majesty's garden to keep everything warm when you had an inclement time. The next room is actually it's totally Swiftian. It's like it horribly stinks, and what it is the guy who is trying to return human excrement back to its food. So getting like the stink out of it, getting the color, the gall out of it, and gets delivered a big Bristol barrel full of excrement, Bristol barrel sized tub of excrement every day to experiment on, but still hasn't gotten it quite yet. Um, there is a physician. He says like, oh, he was getting a bit of the gripe. Got taken to where a physician was like, oh yes, we stick this up the anus of the patient and we suck out the noxious fumes. And there's that. Or if it doesn't seem to be working, we stick that bellow back up and we pump, holding a finger over it while we're recharging the fundament thing, pump more, and then it just expels. And they did this experiment on a dog while they were there pumping it up, and the dog died. And he was thus, as he left, they were sticking the bellow back up that poor fucking dog's corpse now to try and revive it. Which definitely does go to a lot of the vivisections and horrible things that were done to animals in the name of science, and stuff like that. We go into the universal scientist, which seems to be they're thinking maybe it was Robert Boyle, kind of master of experiments, where he'd set up a thing of to get kind of all knowledge, and it's this. They actually have it. It's this little blocks of wood, all with like a little part of speech in it, and each of his many 40 or 50 students operating. They would have each one of these operated by a student who would turn it, and they turn it, and then another 4 students would be looking over, and when they saw something that looked like it was going to make a bit of a sentence, or even a fragment, they'd copy that down, and then it would go to another group. And what apparently the thing was is soon what they'd assemble it all together, and it would have great knowledge without actually having had to actually put any human thought in there. And there is indeed a couple of schemes about language in the other half of there's the kind of the practical side of things, as practical as you can have. And then there's the theoretical side. And there was definitely like theories of language. One, which was basically to just take out all polysyllabic words, just shorten things, brevity, which apparently there was some kind of thing with the Royal Society of trying to make, language more simple. And then there's another one where it was like, we should just eliminate words altogether, and people should just carry around objects, because that's all language is just really is objects. So you just carry around objects and hold them. And that way, diplomats and stuff like that would be able to communicate with other diplomats who they had no language thing with, because they would have all things. However, if it was like the bigger the topic, the more stuff you would have to carry. So you get kind of bent back, kind of peddler like figures carrying around all their objects for to do the thing, which is apparently we're in this kind of great fad of kind of the royal language societies, the French Académie and stuff like that. And this is a part of language prescription. Um, and it was being sabotaged because women were insisting on being able to talk too, and other just kind of common low unintelligent ignoramuses wanted to talk too. And apparently Swift, and in his life, you know you know the key off was actually all for actually consulting all levels of society when kind of coming up with words and word meanings and stuff like this. So that that is all interesting stuff. So it's like it's anti-intellectualism, not really. It's pointing out kind of the silliness, the kind of this is this is early days of science, and just kind of the just like the dumbness. I mean, a part of it being going to be really less sympathetic because it's a Newtonian Whig who is being patronized by the King George at the time. The Whigs have gotten in and have got the king's ear and the king's money. Indeed, he's given money by the king because scientists have this tendency to just beg to anybody who shows up and demand money for to help them more with their experiments. Yeah, so that is all that. Um, yeah, yeah. Another fascinating chapter. Yeah, I'd heard about the sunshine from cucumbers, but the whole kind of stuff with language was really interesting. Especially think about someone like Swift, who is so interested in using language as a tool, as a weapon in his society, and uses it very well. As he's a pamphleteer who they go after each other. Man, they go after each other. All right, I will leave it there. Chapter 5, Part 3.